Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Oshis Jain. Today's my Viva topic is Old Pumpkin Story. The Old Pumpkin Story in detail. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived an old woman named Mrs. Johnson. She was known her for her kindness of generosity. Deposit her age, she loved gardening and took great care of her pumpkin patch. Once a day, while tending to her gardens, Mrs. Johnson noticed a small pumpkin that seemed different from the others. It was mishapen and appeared to be struggling to grow. Feeling pity for the little pumpkin, she decided to nurture it with extra care. Every day, Mrs. Johnson watered the pumpkin, removed seeds, and even sang to it. Over time, the pumpkin begins to thrive and grow bigger than any others in her patch. The villagers marveled at the size of the pumpkins and praised for Johnson gardening skills. As autonomy arrived, it was time for annual village pumpkin concerts. Mrs. Johnson decided to enter her prize pumpkin. Deposit some villagers mocking her for entering an old mishapen pumpkin. To everyone's surprise, Mrs. Johnson pumpkin was first prize. The judges praised not just the size but also the love and dedication that went into the narrating it. Mrs. Johnson beamed with pride as the accept her award. Mrs. Johnson dedications to nourishing the mishapen pumpkin teaches us the importance of not judging something or someone based softly on appearance. Deposit being different from the other's pumpkin, Mrs. Johnson saw the potential and beauty within it. uh, her willingness her willingness to invest them efforts and care into the pumpkin also highlights the value of hard work and determination. Didn't give up the pumpkin even when other doubts its potential. Instead, she chose to believe in it and supports its growth. Mrs. Johnson humility is evident in her decisions to enter the pumpkin concert despite the mockery from the some villagers. She didn't see the recognition or validation for herself. Rather, she wanted to showcase the result of her labor of the love. The villagers changed in prescription from initially mocking Mr. Johnson's pumpkin to ultimately admiring it. Illustrate the power of resilience and preservations. The Mrs. Johnson's success serves as a reminder that staying true to oneself and one's belief can lead to triumph even in the face of doubts and customs. Overall, the story of the old pumpkin and heart warning tells that the emphasis with varieties of kindness, patience, the hard work and resilience, while also celebrating the beauty of weakness and potential for the growth and success in unexpected places. Unexpected. The moral of the story is kindness, patience, and perseverance can lead the unexpected success. Just like Mrs. Johnson's pumpkins, even things that seem smaller or imperfect can flourish with the love and cares. Old woman pumpkins. Every day, Mrs. Johnson watered the pumpkin, removed seeds, and even sang it. Over time, the pumpkin begins to thrive and grow bigger than other in the patch. The villagers marveled at the size of the pumpkin and pace. Mrs. Johnson's gardening the skill. As autonomy arrived, he was the time for the annual village pumpkin concert. Mrs. Johnson decided to enter her prize pumpkin. Deposit some villagers mocking her entering an old Miss Heaven for pumpkin. To everyone surprises, Mrs. Johnson's pumpkin won first prize. The judge praised as just size but also the love and dedication she went into the nourishings to Mrs. Johnson being the first prize as the accepted. Her willingness to invest time, effort, and care into the pumpkin also highlights the value of hard work and determination. She didn't give up on the pumpkin even when others debate its potential. Instead, she chose to believe in it and supports its growth. Additionally, Mrs. Johnson humility is evident in her decisions to enter the pumpkin concert. deposit the mockery from some villagers. She didn't see recognition or validation for himself. Rather, she wanted rather she wanted to show the result of her labor of the love. The villagers changed in prescription from the initially mocking her, Mrs. Johnson's pumpkin, to ultimately admiring and illustrate the power of resilience and preservation. Thank you.